In terms of the speech, we'll speak that way. That does different from
Congressman Baird has never served. He has never dealt with it.
Dear Representative Baird, Bush spoke the words, "Mission accomplished," 1,590 days ago. It's a good reminder that Bush doesn't mean what he says about benchmarks or timetables or when this war will end. At that time, 140 American soldiers had been killed in action. Over 3 years later, 3,753 American soldiers have died in Iraq, and a vast yet disputed number of Iraqis have died violently. You state one reason for your support of the occupation and the surge is due to the potential slaughter of Iraqis when we redeploy. It is heart-wrenching to think of the horrors of which you spoke. Our president and generals are leveraging those tragedies to justify remaining at war. Yet as British troops pull out of Basra, Lieutenant Colonel Patrick Sanders, commander of the 4 Rifles Battle Group, says he predicts that violence will decrease in Basra after the troop withdrawal. He says, "We are told by the Iraqi commanders that our presence in the city was inciting attacks. So under the circumstances, it is right that we withdraw." End quote. When we leave, it is likely there will be desperate consequences, yet those happen daily right now. So how do we respond to the security concerns of the Iraqis we leave behind? Well, we aren't talking about reckless withdrawal. First, we announced that we'll end our occupation and close all of our military installations in Iraq. Second, we help create an opening where parties within Iraq and the region can negotiate. We transition to an international peacekeeping force with no American oversight and order the return of all U.S. contractors. And finally, we begin reparations and release all Iraqi assets. And we begin to rebuild the world to trust us. What is our military saying? 2,016 active duty troops signed the appeal for redress as of 6 September 2007, 2 days ago. And that appeal for redress states, "As patriotic Americans proud to serve the nation in uniform, I respectfully urge my political leaders in Congress to support the prompt withdrawal of all American military forces and bases in Iraq. It is time for U.S. troops to come home." Even former Secretary of State Henry Kissinger insists that military victory is no longer possible, and retired General William Odom calls for a complete withdrawal of all U.S. forces. Iraq Veterans Against the War grew from 7 members 3 years ago to 500 now. Those 500 served in our military since September 11, 2001. Many of them served in Iraq. They say, "Bring our troops home now." Representative Baird, if you listen to a few soldiers in Iraq, now listen to hundreds and thousands who say it's time to work for peace. If we can't properly care for our soldiers in Walter Reed Army Medical Center, how do we expect to take care of all of Iraq? You have always spoken of this war being ill-conceived by the folks that now convince you to continue the surge. Listen to those who are wise in building a peaceful world. You've taken an unpopular stand, and that takes a lot of courage. It will also take courage to turn around and become a voice for peace. Bring them home now, Representative Baird.